All right, your time 7:50. In recent months and years, we've witnessed devastating hurricanes, tornadoes, explosions, the oil spills, and floods. Stressful events that are too frequent, too long, or too intense lead to distress and can be traumatic. So how should people cope with trauma? Well, life coach Deirdre Danahar joins us this morning with some tips. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And let's talk about first, what is the difference between having a few bad days and what trauma actually is?
Well, everyone is going to have a few bad days and you feel stressed out and you just know it's going to be a relatively short period of time. But when things are prolonged or they feel just too much, too big, too scary, too heavy, that's when you can become traumatized. And so you tend to be talking about greater events like witnessing a terrible car accident or something like that.
And for so many people, it sticks with them,
Right.
and it really unbuckles them in their lives. So how can folks start to collect their pieces and put that puzzle back together?
Sure. Well, that's the interesting thing about being affected by trauma is that not everybody ends up in a state where they have post-traumatic stress disorder or a severe anxiety disorder. Most people actually bounce back pretty well, and that time does a lot of the healing. But there are some specific things that you can do, like staying connected with people, family, friends, your church, whomever. Social connection is one of the strongest indicators of who's going to bounce back well.
Because a lot of times people do go back to their personal areas and just stay there. Even if they go to work, they stay in their little cubbyhole and don't really interact with folks.
That's right. And that, there's two sides to that coin. One is we want the normal, right? So it's important to have a routine established again. But you don't want to isolate yourself or avoid things. That's actually going to potentially make things worse.
Okay.
So stay connected. Set a routine as much as you're able to, but you can also make sure that you validate your feelings. Many of the feelings or experiences that we have or symptoms after a traumatic event are normal. It's normal to feel cranky or angry or have tummy problems or not sleep well. You have to talk about those things and not hold them inside.
And this is something that you see with a lot of your clients that you've had to deal with?
I've had to deal with this in previous work that I've done. So certainly it's something I'm familiar with. I also talked about this with a friend of mine who is Matthew Toll, who's the Director of Anxiety Disorder Research at the Medical Center here. And I know he certainly sees a lot of this still.
All right. And tell folks where they can get in touch with you and how they can find you and where they can find you.
Sure. They can reach me at inmotioncc.com. That's my website, or at 601-362-8288. And on my website, on the resources page, there is a fact sheet that gives you more details about this topic.
All right, Deirdre Danahar, thank you so much for coming in. We always love it when you're here.
I like to be here.
Put a smile on my face. Well, coming up, we're giving away tickets to the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science, but you must be watching to win, so stay right there where you are. You're watching Fox 40 and Friends live and local.